Chère Anne, mes sincères félicitations à toi et ton compagnon Jean Philippe Vassal pour avoir remporté le prix Pritzker 2021. Of course, we're very pleased that an ETH Professor Emerita has been awarded jointly the most prestigious prize in the world for architecture. We're very lucky that you've taught at the Department of Architecture from the autumn of 2017 to the end of the spring semester in 2020.
Von Anfang an war es mir eine große Freude, für dich zu arbeiten. Du warst immer sehr respektvoll, wertschätzend, menschlich und sehr bescheiden. Und genauso habe ich dich immer im Umgang mit deinem Team und mit den Studenten erlebt.
What I like also in the way you teach during these 6 semesters was to never make any difference between the people you were talking to. It could have been the most famous architect coming to the studio. I remember Peter Zumthor, for example, or it could have been a student in a second year of bachelor. You always had the same curiosity and attention to anyone, and this I think is one of the most important things in the role of an architect, to be able to look at anyone with the same eyes and to take the best of each people, of course, but each situation.
Wie du das Studio geführt hast, eigentlich mit einer klaren Haltung und gleich alle Projekte und alle Ideen ernst genommen hast und offen bist, das hat mich sehr beeindruckt.
I really enjoy to understand your knowledge, and also I really appreciate your attitude, which is very strong to lead and guide us to what architecture should be.
You are very grounded, and you have like a fire that it's hidden but warms up everything that is around you, and I'm really grateful for that. I can feel this quality, this welcoming, quiet space that you give everybody that is around you.
Zu Weihnachten hast du immer La Durée Macaron aus Paris für das Team und mich mitgebracht. Das war sehr liebenswert und aufmerksam von dir.
You've also contributed one of the proposed topics for the master's thesis in autumn semester 2019 with an island between 2 rivers, the Limmat and the railway tracks, Kreis 5 und Kreis 9. The students were invited to examine an urban space in Zurich that is cut through by transport axes, offering a wide range of spaces from industrial areas to idyllic natural spaces, and in an urban context that harbours a high degree of complexity and conflict.
I remember in the studio, especially when I talked to the students, sometimes I said to them, okay, I think you are at a certain point in your process of thinking, and I think you have in mind a very good basis to move forward. And then suddenly, Anne, you came after me and you said, maybe we have to go back to make a step back and to think again about a bigger picture.
All the projects were each time really a sort of poetic moment, full of questions, questioning our practices and of course the way to produce architecture.
It's worth mentioning your last studio at ETH, which spanned 2 semesters and was as transnational as it was exceptional. In the autumn semester 2019 and spring semester 2020, your studios were devoted to the conception and planning of an indigenous university in the Piemonte region of southern Colombia.
I was very lucky to have you on this, to have you working on this difficult project to create a new indigenous university for a people in Colombia. And I was so happy that you were taking it on and had the courage to work with your students for an entire year to develop ideas and make suggestions and do very thorough research.
Und als Student 2 Semester mit ihr gemeinsam das Projekt für die Universität im kolumbianischen Urwald können entwickeln. Das war für mich eine sehr spezielle Zeit, wo man eigentlich als Architekt genug Zeit hatte, ganz verschiedenem Wissen sich anzueignen, was uns eigentlich als komplett Unwissende gestartet hat.
Your approach was so sensitive. I think this was particularly important for indigenous people who were so used to be colonized through architectural projects and through educational projects. So your sensitivity was much appreciated by them. The book that you produced with your students was an absolute bestseller in the territory. Everyone walking around with that book under their arm and taking it to their heart. It was a very precious study that the students made, and I think it will help a great deal to take this project further into the future.
I received a copy of your book and have dipped into it with great interest.
What you said and often to the students was to not draw too fast and to not draw a line on the paper, because when you see a line on the paper, it's really hard to forget it, and it's really strong, because you see something, you see a form, you see a relation to the paper, you see a relation to something else, and this was also very interesting to me to have this again in mind.
Ann, du bist für mich als Chefin, aber auch als Mensch, als Architektin und als Professorin ein Vorbild. Ich vermisse dich hier und freue mich auf ein Wiedersehen.
Ann and Jean Philippe, so congratulations. We are very glad to hear the great news.
I'm very happy that you got this prize, and I hope that it will have a biggest resonance in the world, so that all the work you already done can have a bigger influence.
For me, this is a prize. It's not to talk only about architecture, but maybe more about the attitude and the way to bring questions. What is so important in our daily life, not only about aesthetic, but of course what is so important in the public equipments, in housing. That's all those fantastic questions that you brought, and I wanted to thank you for that, because I was really deeply inspired by your attitude.
Ich freue mich riesig, dass du und Jean Philippe diesen wichtigsten Architekturpreis gewonnen habt. Ich gratuliere euch von Herzen dafür.
Dear Ann, congratulations to this fabulous award. It's much deserved.
Im Namen von allen Studenten, denke ich, gratuliere ich dir ganz herzlich zum Pritzker Prize.
Jean Philippe, I wanted to thank you also because you were the first to make me discover this fantastic tool, which is Google Earth. And I remember we spent hours and hours behind the screen looking at projects and trying to find projects we had in mind. And these moments are very precious to me. I really precisely remember them, and I thank you for this.
For many years, I was really impressed by of course, your attitude and the attitude of both of you. I mean, Jean Philippe and Ann, and that's fantastic that this prize celebrates in a way this attitude and this posture. So one more time, congratulations.
I'm really appreciate, and I learned a lot from both of you. Congratulations.
I'm very glad and extremely grateful that our students have had the opportunity to acquire their craft and inspiration from you, and hope that you will remain strongly connected to us as an Emerita. Thank you.